Hey everybody, Matt here. As you can tell probably by the title, this is going to be a kind of a part one in a series I'm going to be doing on bug out bags and prepping and just all that kind of you know, being prepared and survival stuff. Before I get into the first video, I do kind of want to just give an overview of what I'm going to be doing. You know, I'm not trying to come off as any kind of expert. This is something the prepping and survival, the bug out bags, all this stuff is something that's fairly new to me. It's unlike the guns. I mean, guns I've been into for quite a while, but this stuff is fairly new to me here in the last couple years. So you know, I'm just really kind of trying to you know, share my experiences and share the things I'm doing and the way I prepare with you guys out there, and hopefully you know, it helps somebody, you know, gives somebody some ideas. You know, it's something that you know, a lot of you out there probably are far more into this than I am, and you're far better prepared than I am, and it's probably something y'all have been into longer than I have, in which case, you know, maybe it's not as interesting to you, but it would still be nice to, you know, get some good conversations going throughout these videos, and you know, getting other people's opinions on what things are and aren't important and how you should and shouldn't prepare. Obviously prepping and you know, survival is an individual thing. Okay, it's going to differ from person to person. You know, just on a very basic level. I mean, a person who lives by themselves, how they're going to prep and what they're going to prep for is going to be very different than, say, someone like me who had, you know, I have a wife, I have 3 kids. I have to prep for you know, a family of 5. So there's a very, you know, I mean, just because I'm saying this is what I do doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going to be right for you, but hopefully we'll be able to give you some ideas, and hopefully I'll be able to get some ideas from other people as well. Like I said, you know, it's still fairly new, and my gear and my equipment and everything is constantly evolving, and I think that goes for most of us out there, whether we've been prepping for 2 years like I have or been doing it all their life. It's constantly evolving and changing. Before I get started on what this first video is going to be about, I do want to give a shout out to some people that I've watched on YouTube that have done a fantastic job, that have just, I mean, their channels are awesome, and most of these guys you probably already know, but in case you don't, check them out. I will have the links down below to their channels. Please check them out. The first one is the one I've been subscribed to the longest, and that's Yankee Prepper. A lot of you know this guy. Yankee Prepper's been on for a long time. He's been doing this for a while. He's got some really cool videos, some really great ideas. If you haven't checked out his channel or subbed to him, go do it now, because he's the shit. Analytical survival. This guy has some of, I mean, he is so detailed when it comes to survival and how to prepare, and I mean, just I mean, you should see, you really got to check out his videos. I can't really explain them right. The way he does his videos, it's just, I mean, he explains every little thing to you on how to do it and how it works for him, and you know, what options there are, and I mean, this guy is just, he's great. Most of you probably, like I said, already know who he is, but if you don't, go check out and sub his channel, Analytical Survival. Another guy, Off the Grid Survival. I've been subbed to him for probably a couple months. Really cool guy. He does a lot of stuff on bug out bags and shit hit the fan, gear, guns, stuff like that. 2 new guys that I just run across here in the past week that I'm loving their videos are the Road Warrior and the Survival Summary. Both their channels will be down there. They've got some really good videos. Road Warrior's got a shit ton of videos. The Survival Summary, you should see this guy's basement. It is insane. He's got a literal metric ton of food in his basement, just packed and ready and organized. And anyway, all good channels. Check them out. They're what's given me my inspiration for this. So anyway, on to episode 1. This is going to be about getting started. Okay. When it comes to putting together a bug out bag, or getting your food and water preparation, or a bug out vehicle, or you know, self-defense weapons, or whatever it is, okay, bugging in, bugging out, whatever the situation is going to be. The most important thing that you need to focus on, whether it's, you know, as far as actual items or whether it's just your mentality to be able to deal with the situation, the most important thing you need to remember is to be adaptable, okay? It is ultimately important to be adaptable. Never, ever get yourself in the mindset that if this situation happens, this is what I'm going to do, and only set yourself up to do that, because you don't know what's going to happen, okay? You need to be adaptable. You need to be able to, if you're planning, I mean, it's great to plan on bugging in, you know, and a lot of people are doing that. They stock up the food, they stock up the water, they have lots of supplies at their house, but you don't know what's going to happen. You may need to leave. And then on the other side of that, you may be ready and planning to grab your bug out bag and head out to a cabin that you've got out in the middle of nowhere. Well, when the shit goes down, you may not be able to get away. You may have to bug in and stay at your house. Okay, you need to be adaptable, and the supplies are just one part of being adaptable. Yes, you want to get supplies and you want to have the stuff necessary to be able to be adaptable that would work for you if you stay here, if you go, if you have to travel with a group of people, if you get, you know, forcibly removed. Let's say there's a mandatory evacuation and the government gets called in to remove people. There's a lot of different scenarios you have to be adaptable to, and that's going to be reflected in your gear. But the most important place it needs to be reflected is in your mind, in your mentality, in how you think, in how you can adapt to a situation mentally. Because if you can't do that, it doesn't matter what gear you have. Okay, and like I said, it's just my opinion, and most of y'all already know that. So, you know, but getting started. Okay. We're going to start with bug out bags, and I'm not going to go into details in this video of what to put in a bug out bag. We're going to start with the bags themselves. Okay, that's what this video is going to be about. My personal opinion, the ideal bug out bag is going to be some sort of pack. Okay, something you can throw on your back. Okay, as you can see here, I've got, this is my main bug out bag, and it's kind of big here. You see I got the water bottle hanging off of it. It is packed full, okay? This has got a lot of stuff, but this has got a lot of stuff that would take care of a family of 5, minus the food, okay? The food is another bag, and that's a whole nother topic, okay? I like backpacks because they can be grabbed like any other bag. They can also be thrown on your back. Usually because of the straps, okay? These, you know, there's 100 things you can do with these straps. If you needed to tie it down to something, okay? If you needed to strap this to a motorcycle, to a bicycle, to the back of a car. I mean, in my opinion, this is my opinion only, backpacks, okay, are easier to use, okay, for a bug out bag. They already come with the pockets, they already come with the straps, boom, they're ready to go, okay? These are all examples of good backpacks. You can use any backpack. Anything you've got laying around your house. If you've got kids, I guarantee you've got some old backpacks laying in the closet somewhere or in a storage shed that they didn't want anymore because they want the newest one, okay? They want a cool one for this year for school. That's a perfect place to start. I mean, I've got backpacks all over my house, okay? Now, that may not, in my opinion, for a bug out bag, that is the ideal situation. This is something you're going to be able to grab and pick up. Now, if you're talking about something you're going to keep in a car, that's a completely different scenario. Doesn't necessarily need to be a backpack. You do want it to be able to be something that you can grab and pick up. Now I've got this bag. You know, I've seen the video I did on this bag, which is basically a Walmart tool kit or an emergency car kit that has the tow rope and the little tool kit and the emergency flashlight and jumper cables and that kind of thing in it. And I converted it into a car bug out bag. Now for what I'm using it in the car, it works because it's already in the car. Okay, the car itself is portable. The only situation in which case this would need to be actually drug around is if the car broke down. And that is another scenario. If you want to use a backpack for your car, Bob, that's fine. I chose not to because I chose to use the existing case I have when I purchased this emergency kit, okay, and just build that one. Another option here, and a lot of y'all have seen this on here, are these. Okay, I don't know if you can see this very well. This is an Altoids tin. Okay, now this is good for keeping in your pocket, in your glove box, you know, women keeping it in their purse. And you can actually fit, surprisingly enough, quite a bit of stuff in here. Pocket knife, some fishing lines, some duct tape, you know, a couple hooks. What I've got in here right now, at the moment, is some fishing line, some fishing hooks, a little small cut down pencil, a little bit of paper, a little saw, don't know if you can see that, one of those little wire saws, some duct tape. The pocket knife is not actually in here right now, but I do have a pocket knife for it, just a little one, and a condom. And obviously, you know what these are for. No, actually it's for water storage, because surprisingly, a non-lubricated condom will hold over a gallon of water without breaking. And it's actually a really good thing to have. I mean, you really should keep them. Just don't get the lubricated kind. You know, tastes nasty. Anyway, so that's it for this episode. Like I said, this is just going to be about where to start, the actual bag itself, the actual container. Like I said, I like backpacks. I think they work great. I think overall they're much more efficient than any other type of bag, satchel, things like that they're going to hang off on one side, or something you're going to have to hold by a handle. These distribute the weight very well. If you can get one that actually has the clips that come around the front and snap up front, that's even better. But like I said, I love backpacks. I think they work well, and chances are, especially if you've got kids, you've got backpacks floating all around your house, and it's a great place to start with a bug out bag. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to get out of here for now. I am going to come back, and we're going to be doing another video. It's going to be episode 2, I guess, in the series, and I will probably start breaking down specifics inside the bug out bags. I'm probably not going to go over my med kit, because I already have a video about my med kit. But we'll get into what specific things you should probably think about having in there, or at least going over the things I have in mind, and you know, maybe seeing if there's a way you can adapt what I've got to fit your needs. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you taking the time to check it out, and I will be back with episode 2 hopefully sometime very soon.